All right. My name is Zak Romanoff. I'm the Vice President of OMNI Food Sales, and I've been asked to answer the question, why do you need to hire a food broker to launch your line? A little bit about my background. I grew up in two family businesses, a food distributor and a food brokerage. Literally been around the food industry my entire life. I started around 8 years old. My first jobs were picking orders in a refrigerated and frozen warehouse, and also riding as a truck driver's assistant, making deliveries throughout the 5 boroughs and Metro New York area. I've been meeting with customers for a long time, whether it's golf outings, dinners, one-on-one meetings, whatever it may be. I've understood and learned the importance of relationship building from an early age. I've been with OMNI full-time for 9 years, and I've been acting as its vice president for the last 2. OMNI is comprised of 3 divisions. First one is retail field reps. I worked as a rep. I had a territory of stores that I called on, a region, a zone, and I made sure that our products had distribution in that zone. I worked in customer service in the office, entering promotions, confirming orders, deliveries, getting familiar with our principals, accounting systems, and our customers' portals. I've learned the importance of attention to detail. 1 decimal place to the left or to the right could create a large problem later on. And I also worked as a business manager. I've called on every headquarter, supermarket, and distributor in the Metro New York area, which there are over 30. Today I'm responsible for all day-to-day functions at OMNI Food Sales. That includes maintaining contact with all principals on a daily basis. It means allocating the resources, the manpower, and the hours that we'll spend on certain initiatives. And I'm responsible for generating new business. OMNI represents companies of all shapes and sizes. We represent household brands that are familiar, that you've seen every day. We represent international brands that are based in other countries. We represent regional brands that are selling to parts of the country. And we represent local brands that are selling only in the New York market. Every principal has its own language, and every principal is a part of our family. That's the way we treat our principals. The ones that are shown here, 2 of our principals were featured on ABC's hit show Shark Tank, and it's a pleasure working with these entrepreneurs. The food industry is a fun business. There's a lot of fun out there. It's a relationships-based business. And some of these photos here are just showing meetings at food shows, meetings after hours for a drink at a ball game or at a food show. I love this business. You have to love this business to be successful, because if you're not genuine, people will see that and they'll feel that and they won't want to work with you. A little bit about OMNI Food Sales. OMNI has been around for 25 years. We're celebrating our 25th year anniversary this year. We're very proud about that because over the past 25 years, a lot of brokers have come and gone. There's been a trend from local brokers to national brokers that provide coverage from coast to coast. And now companies are coming back to the regional expertise model. So OMNI has survived the whole model while other brokerages have gone out of business or sold and conglomerated. OMNI represents over 20 brands or manufacturers. They're sold in over 7 departments in today's supermarket. And collectively, that business represents over $100 million in sales annually. Our mission statement has not changed since we were founded 25 years ago. It's simple: increase sales and distribution for our principals. This is a picture of the New York supermarket landscape. OMNI calls on every one of these accounts. In total, there's over 1,300 supermarkets in the Metro New York marketplace. So the reason I put this up here is to show that there's been a lot of change in the New York marketplace. In the past, there was a large number 1 account, a large number 2 account, and then there was everybody else. About 2 years ago, the large number 2 account, A&P, went bankrupt. And what happened after that is the large number 1 account got even bigger, and everybody else is now picking up market share, and all these little guys that didn't matter as much are now becoming more important. If you were to look at a grid like this for other parts of the country, for example, Florida, Publix represents maybe over 75% of the market share. H-E-B in Texas or Jewel in Chicago all represent the majority of the market share. New York is the most segmented marketplace in the United States. It's a lot of work identifying these accounts and finding the buyers to get sales, That's why a broker is more important in this part of the country than in any other part. The New York market has the highest number of independently owned supermarkets in the entire country. What I mean by that is there's not a lot of chains. It's individual families that own groups of stores. A family in New Jersey might own 30 stores. A family in Long Island might own 10 stores. A family in New York might own 2 stores. If you want to do business with all of these groups, you need to identify and find out what's important to these groups because they all have their different requirements. Because of this diversity, virtually every brand that sells in Metro New York has a broker, and those that do not are at a distinct disadvantage. In addition to intense competition between traditional supermarket retailers, now there's a lot more competition that's entered the marketplace. For example, Costco is a wholesale liquidator that is encouraging customers to buy in bulk and save. Walmart is a club store that has entered the food industry in a big way, and they are disrupting the industry by coming out with retails that are lower than anybody else has seen, and the other retailers are reacting to it afterwards. And of course, Whole Foods has been around for a while. Their market share has relatively flattened out, but as Amazon has acquired Whole Foods, please know that every supermarket retailer is sleeping with one eye open to see what's going to happen next at Whole Foods. It's a billion-dollar industry, and the battle is on. And in the next 5 years, we're going to see a lot of innovation. There's a lot of ideas people are experimenting with. Will it be home delivery? Will it be order online and then pick it up from a kiosk on your way home? People are experimenting with different options. Stores are going to have a lot of innovations, and the future holds a lot of creativity. So when it comes to selling your products, I was asked to explain why you should hire a broker, but I don't think you should hire a broker. I think you should hire a brand advocate. I say that because I'm not a fan of the terminology broker when it describes working in the food business. A broker is what you use when you want to buy or sell a stock, or you want to buy or sell a home or apartment. In the food industry, we play a much more important role that's 24/7, 365. The relationship should not be viewed as transactional, whereas I hired you, get me authorized, and I'll see you later. That doesn't work. There needs to be trust both ways between the manufacturer and the brand advocate. The reason why is, in Metro New York, there is a network of hundreds of people, of buyers, of supervisors, of individual store managers and owners that are all in the cycle that need to be in communication with on a weekly basis. And if you don't have someone that's really in that network and representing your interest to the best that they can, you're at a disadvantage. So from this point forward, I'm not going to use broker anymore. I'm going to use brand advocate. So please stay with me. There are dozens of benefits that a brand advocate brings to a food manufacturer, but I'll go through the top 5. Benefit number 1, brand advocates secure appointments. Has anyone here tried calling or emailing a buyer and the buyer did not get back to him? It happens to everybody. Buyers are too busy and they get inundated with dozens, if not hundreds, of requests from manufacturers trying to sell them every day. Many buyers already have relationships with brand advocates. There's a sense of familiarity, and when a buyer knows that a brand advocate has been through battles with him before, he's more likely to respond to someone that he knows and will be there for him. So if you were starting brand new, launching a product in New York, in America, and you need to find the buyers, think about how much time it would take you to A, find all of these people's correct contact information, actually contact them, call and email, and what percent of them would actually get back to you. All 3 of those things, if you hire a good brand advocate, they can do that automatically. They're already doing that. Benefit number 2, brand advocates guide food companies with the expectations of an account before making the presentation. This is seriously undervalued and might be the most important benefit that food brand advocates provide. A food brand has one chance to make a first impression. If you're fortunate enough to get a meeting with a buyer, you want to have all the information before that meeting. What I mean by that, every account has their own cost of doing business. Some accounts want you to participate in the annual golf outing. Other accounts want you to participate in the breast cancer awareness dinner every year. And other accounts want you to take out a half-page magazine ad on their behalf. In addition to those costs of doing business, every account has their own ad plan with frequency, duration, ad costs, and new item allowance fees. You want to have all this information and put it in a marketing plan before you go on the call, so that when you make the call, you have your price, and you have your promotional program, and everything is approved to go. What you don't want to do is walk in there with a price, find out you've got to support these 5 functions and promote 10 times a year, and then all of a sudden you say, I'm sorry, I need to go back, ask my supervisor, and see if that's okay. The goal is simple: get to yes after the first meeting. The reason why is everyone is so busy, you may not have a second meeting. So brand advocates are going to set you up with all the information you need to get to yes right away, so that the only follow-up that needs to be done after your first meeting can be done over the phone or via email. As soon as you walk out of that meeting with that buyer, when he gets back to his desk, he has 3 phone calls, he has 15 emails, and his boss is calling him into his office. Most buyers, now the supermarket industry is a huge industry, but the margins are very thin. So you notice a lot of companies have their buyers buying 2, 3, or 4 different categories. So it's very common to find one person doing the job of 2 or even 3 people. Buyers are responsible for hundreds and even thousands of items. Every item has its own attributes, like cost, weight, unit of measure, sell-by date, minimum ship, shelf life, the list goes on. So that being said, a buyer wants to work with someone that knows this, respects this, and instead of giving them more work to do, gives them less work to do. They know that their brand advocates understand their situation. That's why they prefer working with a brand advocate. Benefit number 4, brand advocates are motivated by sales to get paid. This is pretty straightforward. If there's no sales, there's not going to be a relationship. A good brand advocate will only align with a brand or manufacturer if he believes that that product will be successful. Because brand advocates only have so many hours in the week. If they're going to take time to partner with you, they're taking that away from something else. And it's simple. If there are no sales, then end the relationship. There's no long-term commitment. Benefit number 5, brand advocate teams save you time. Time is your biggest asset in business. You want to be able to use that time to think of how to make the best possible products, how to innovate your products, how to get lower costs on your ingredients so you can come out with a lower price point. You don't want to be spending your time recruiting, hiring, and training a sales team. The best brand advocate teams are comprised of 3 divisions, and people in these positions have years of experience and have been hand-selected because of their personal expertise. Business managers call on accounts, they negotiate rates, they negotiate on your behalf with buyers. Customer service, make sure your deliveries are confirmed on time, that your accounts receivable is clean. If any money is deducted on your account, they research and get that money repaid. And field reps, also known as feet on the street. This is a team of people that their sole responsibility is to go into stores to check for your product, to report on the product, and to get your product on the shelf and increase your sales. Just putting some dollars to it, if you were to hire one full-time sales manager for the Metro New York area, it would cost you roughly or more than $100,000 in terms of salary and benefits alone. There are superstar salesmen out there, but there's no salesman that could do more than a 25-person team can. By hiring a brand advocate, you don't have legal responsibilities to employees like lawsuits, workers' comp, medical insurance, auto accident, liability, and other benefits. Here are a few examples of some strong launches that OMNI's performed not too long ago. One of our principles is competing in a very competitive landscape with nationally known brands. So we launched against national competitors and we carved out market share and secured distribution over 13,000 pounds a week through 2 different distributors to make this program a success. This is from the ASG group. They comprise the Associated, Compare, Met, and Pioneer stores. We're especially proud of this launch because Those stores are largely allowed to do whatever they want from store to store. There was no automatic distribution to set that case up. OMNI reps had to go and set up every individual store, and we did this over a period of time. One of our principals came up with a pallet concept for one of the holidays. The account told us, okay, we'll try it, but we're not going to buy anything up front. You can go out and pre-sell it to our stores. And if you do that, then we'll take it in. So OMNI's team went out to stores, spoke to department managers, spoke to store managers, and secured 80 pallet orders of this particular product. When the holidays came, the product came in, OMNI managed the inventory and managed the sell-through of all product. The food truck is a great vehicle. Consumers' number one request in shopping in the supermarket is to sample more products in the store. This truck is provided to us, our staff mans it, our staff serves out product, customers come, they try the product, they ask questions, we answer them, we have giveaways, we have prizes, and we're building brand equity that's going to continue over time. This is a further processed item that also was looking to enter into a very competitive landscape. It's often very difficult to take a new product that's not very well known and compete with brands that are known nationally. With this principle, we did that, and we went in year one from zero to over $300,000 in sales. So that doesn't happen for everybody. Some will be more, some will be less, but it's an example to show that it can be done. So, to recap, benefit number one, brand advocates secure appointments. It saves you time. It's what we do for a living. So it's something that can be done fairly quickly. If a brand advocate doesn't know the buyer that you need, there's a very good chance that they know someone that does know that buyer, and that will help you to get your appointment faster. Benefit number two, brand advocates provide you with the information you need ahead of the meetings to make them as effective as possible to get to yes at the first meeting. Benefit number three, buyers prefer to deal with people that save them time. A brand advocate has been through the battles with a buyer. He knows what to do when there's a long inventory. He knows what to do when there's a shortage and the buyer needs product in a jam. Benefit number four, brand advocates are motivated by sales to get paid. And benefit number five, brand advocate teams save you time so that you can work on and perfecting your product. That's all I have prepared. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, please be happy to ask, and my contact information can be found on our website, omnifs.com.